Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Homage to the Blessed One, to the Perfect One, to the Supremely Enlightened One. Grateful homage and salutations to my most revered teacher, Venerable Acharya Buddhadatta Mahathera, the founder, President of Mahabodhi Society, Bangalore, our Abbot, Most Venerable Kassapa Mahathera, and all my Dhamma masters, the great Dhamma teachers, my parents, and all my Kalyana Mitas and dear friends in the Dhamma. Blessings and welcome to all of you to this another beautiful Dhamma session. On behalf of Mahabodhi Research Center, I welcome all our listeners to this weekend Dhamma talk. You know about Mahabodhi and about Mahabodhi Research Center activities, so I don't want to talk on that. Just now we have started this program with Buddha Vandana, with paying our respects and gratitude, recollecting the qualities of Lord Buddha, his Dhamma, and the Sangha. We just have begun the session. We invoke the blessings of this enlightened one. We invoke the blessings of the Dhamma and the Sangha to guide on this path. Now, today we are going to talk about this topic called overcoming anger, forgiveness, harmony, and inner peace. This will be the subject of our discourse today. So, I will begin with a gatha from the Dhammapada regarding this anger, No doubt you already have experienced this anger in your everyday, day-to-day life. Anger or hatred or animosity or cruelty in so many ways. You may name it, but the nature of this anger is hot. The very nature of anger is something which not only brings suffering to oneself, and it also brings suffering to others. And in the process, by generating this anger, we lost the mental peace of mind. And when you lose our inner peace, then we lose our harmony within oneself, within the family, and within the society. Many times, because of this so-called anger, we become non-forgiving. We don't forgive others. So we lack in forgiveness, we lack in endurance and patience, which leads to all further repercussion, further complications. So overcoming this anger is not only essential, rather it is an imperative. It is must. We have to deal with this anger. We have to overcome this anger, not to subdue others, or not to become very soft and meek and polite. Rather, to maintain our mental peace and happiness, we have to protect our mind. So, Buddha says in the Dhammapada, there's one entire chapter which is dedicated to anger, called Kodha. So, Kodhang jahe vipajahe yamanang, Buddha said. Akodhena jine kodhang, asadhung sadhuna jine. Akodhena jine kodhang, asadhuk sadhuna jine. Jine kadariyang danena, satchena alikavadina. How do one overcome this anger? Overcome the anger by non-anger. or overcome this angry, the state of mind, the angry with not being angry. In another occasions, Lord Buddha says that metta vihari yoviku, the direct antidote of this anger is metta, loving kindness. You know, we cannot simply overcome anger by just accumulating and adding on more anger. Rather, the anger will only subside when you develop maitri, loving kindness. So, with the qualities of anger, you can curb the tide, just by being patient and enduringly, with patiently when you practice this maitri, the loving kindness, then you can remove this anger. Now, how anger is manifested in the families? Just you have to understand the nature of this anger, the function, how it functions, and its manifestations, that cause of that very anger. In the commentaries, we have all these four methods that the cause, the function, the manifestation, the function of this very anger. Now, at times we have people around enemy. We live among enemies, but how do you behave among enemies? You live in a society where we have afflictions all the time. When you have people with full of craving and full of anger and avarice and hatred and so on, how do you going to face them? Interestingly, the Buddha, if you take the instance of Lord Buddha, or how the Buddha can just by changing his mind, the Buddha can actually subdue his anger, although there is no anger, there is no trace of anger in the minds of Lord Buddha. But here, you might have heard about the story of Okosaka, one very abusive man, you see. And this man I feel so angry about, because his entire family, they've become the follower of Lord Buddha, including his wife. And one of the festive days, he went to see Lord Buddha. But he went there not to praise the Buddha, rather he went there to blame and hurl a lot of angry words throughout the Buddha. He went there to abuse Lord Buddha in front of everybody. He wanted to defame the Buddha. The Buddha is the embodiment of love and compassion. There is no anger in the minds of Lord Buddha. But now this Bharadwaja, his name was Bharadwaja. So Bharadwaja went to this great assembly where even hundreds and thousands of monks were listening to Lord Buddha's teachings. And not only that, even the ministers and the kings and all these counselors of those days, they were also present. Now, for example, nowadays, even in the Buddhist countries where kings also follows the Dhamma, they go to the great teachers and masters. In Buddhist countries, they go and listen the Dhamma. Unfortunately, in India, these things has just been otherwise. We don't have now. In India, situation is different. In terms of the Dhamma, I'm talking about. So now this Akosaka Bharadwaja, he approached to Lord Buddha, and he uses all the dirty and filthy words, towards the Buddha in front of everybody. Nobody has stopped him. Even the presence of all these the ministers and all those people didn't stop him. So he just go on and abusing Lord Buddha. Now the Buddha was forbearing all these, and with his mind of universal love, with positive thoughts. The Buddha was just listening to his words, not uh, not very lovely either to hear these words and somebody which is really throwing this word to Lord Buddha himself. So now what happens is the Buddha says, when he finished, this man, when he finished up everything, there was nothing. Then Buddha says, "Are you done?" And then says, this man says, "Yes, I am done. I am not shameful, I am not harmful, being abused by means in this way." The Buddha says, the man, my good man, I will give an example. Let's say, do any guest visit your home or not? He says, "Yes, the guests do come to my house, and what is there? What are you going to do with you, monk?" Then he says, "Well, when the guest comes to your house, you definitely you will serve them with the choicest of food and with good food in them, and to them, and give them the best of best delicacies, to your guests." He says, "Yes, why not? Yes, I do treat them with nicely with all these mm, good food and everything." Well, now let's say that the guest I don't accept that food, what you offer to them. Then whom does that things belongs to? He says, "Okay, if the guests don't accept it, then it belongs to me, because I only offer them. So if they reject it, normally it belongs to me." So likewise, the Buddha put on very important similes. Then he says, "My good man, this is just like the same. When you offered me with all these filthy and dirty and unkind, harmful, these words, I don't believe them. I don't accept it either. Since I don't accept it, whom does it belongs to? It all goes back to you." This is the analogy, the positive outlook and the thinking of an enlightened person. How the Buddha endured this anger of somebody, but through that state of mind, through his loving kindness, through his compassion, through his wisdom, with his positive outlook, with his all-embracing wisdom, the Buddha can change and transform that mind, and he remove the anger from him. So likewise, you can take your stance where you are standing at situations like these, whether people may speak truly, untruly, kindly, unkindly, or they may praise or blame you, they may respect or disrespect you. Sometimes you have this reputation, good and sometimes bad reputations. So all these situations, it depends on what a positive outlook you have to maintain. Well, anger is compared in many instances, and anger is just like a water which is boiling, a boiling water where you don't really see your own face. For example, a man is somebody, you are very thirsty and you want to drink some water. But what is that hot water? What is going to do? Does the water serve your thirst? Can you use that water? Even so, when your mind is full of thoughts of anger, kodha, really we lose the radiance, the clarity in the mind, and we don't really see ourselves. And with that thoughts, when you act or speak, naturally, this will not become a pleasant thing at all. Your action becomes negative, your speech becomes unwelcoming, and you hurt many people. Sometimes people also say that Yeah, they say they project themselves that I am not angry. You know, as long as they are in a comfortable zone, they they don't show up their anger. In situations, you may see people are very calm on the outside, very calm and very peaceful, but they are not free from anger actually. There is another example in the suttas. It is from the Kakachupama Sutta from the Majjhima Nikaya. There is a very interesting example of a lady, which is she is known as a very good mannered and good character lady. She never harbored any kind of thoughts, any kind of anger as such, anger in her mind. So she was a mistress in a certain household, and all his good name was spread about that such and such lady is very polite and metta-full, and he has a lot of loving kindness in her heart. But one day, but when the real testing times arrives, then we realize that, whoa, we are not still free from this anger. This wretched mind, this wretched anger is still there in my mind. For example, this lady, she used to, she had a maid servant called Kali, Kali Dasi in our Indian terms, Kali Dasi. So this Kali Dasi was a very good servant, obedient servant. But mm, she thought that, well, my mistress is this lady, whether she is actually loving me and having some concern for me just because of that she has really true metta in her mind, or she just loves me because I keep the things nicely and I put the things orderly. She's pleased with my work, that's why she's nice, or how it is, you know. So this Kalidasi then thought, well, let me test this, my mistress, my own mistress, whether she is having anger or grudge towards me, or she doesn't have the anger, or she has that anger but he doesn't show it, you know. So why don't I test my own this lady? That's where this thought appeared in this mind of this Kali. Now the Kali, usually she is very punctual, but one day she just overslept a little bit more, and she doesn't get up early in the morning. She wake up late, and then her mistress came straight to her and says, "Hey Kali, what is it? Why you don't get up early in the morning? Why are not doing your chores like that?" He says, "Oh, that is nothing, my lady." You know. Then he says, continue to sleep. In the next day, okay, now this lady, she says, "Oh, this is nothing. Okay, okay. You bad servant, you know, you got up late and you were saying nothing." And she's become a little bit displeased. And the next day, it's occurred to the maid servant, well, let me test further, because, well, she's displeased, but she doesn't really bend anger on me. So then, even then, she continued to sleep a little bit more. And the next morning, she got up even later. Then the lady comes and asks the same question. "Hey, Kali, what are you doing? The sun is already up and you still sleeping? You bad maid servant." And then the Kali says, "Oh, that is nothing." Then तुम लोग समझता है? Huh? Our monks are here with me, few monks, yeah, listening. So then Kali replied, "That's nothing, my lady." "Ah, that's nothing. Okay, okay. You bad servant." She become angry and displeased again and boiling within. Then the third day, she The maidservant says, okay, she does have anger within, but she doesn't really show it. You know, let me further test to my lady. Then she continued to sleep. Third day, and got up late in the morning, even maybe 8 or 9 o'clock. Now this lady Videhika asked, "Hey, you Kali, you bad maid servant, what is it? Why did you get up so late again? What's happening with you?" So then says the Kali says, "That is nothing." Then now this lady Videhika, she's a very good mannered and very loving mistress. She never showed of any anger. She becomes so angry now and so displeased with the behavior of this Kali, they suddenly catch hold of one door bar. In those days, we have a door bar. So he took up that and hit Kali on her head. He just hit her on the head with the door bar and now injured her head. So now this Kali injured and the blood coming out of her head and blood oozing out. Kali now severely injured with her so loving mistress. She hit her head with this door bar with the wooden stick, and the Kali injured, and he went about among the neighborhood and the shouting, "Look, sir, look, my dear friends, what this great lady, the gentle lady, she has done to me. You see, the calm lady, the gentle lady, she has done to me. How can she, you know, she hit me and injured me so like this? Because I got up late today and angry and displeased. Uh, she hit me with this door bar. Like that, she go on and on about the neighborhood, holding, putting her hand on the head, and she just go and on, telling everybody the ill act of this lady. So now having heard this, the people around in the vicinity, in the village, in Savati, all these bad reports spread thereafter regarding this mistress. That this mistress is really, she's not so gentle and kind and calm. She's actually having that grudge and this anger within. She's not free from anger yet. She is violent and arrogant and not at all calm. So from a good-hearted lady, now this Videhika becomes ill-hearted, ill-repute, become a very, hot-tempered and short-tempered woman in the area. So in the same ways, what way we are different? If you put these situations like today in our situations, though we think we are calm, we are gentle and kind, we don't show up our anger. But when the such situations arises, when we face these sort of situations, negative situations, or situation doesn't go in a way, then you lose our temper, and we commit unwholesome actions. We commit harmful deeds, or we harms through our speech as well. We speak about unpleasant, unkind speech. So here, in these two instances, I've given you two instances of rather a study of how the Buddha negate anger from the mind of that man. And now this lady, good lady of Savatthi, how she turned into this. Now, why it so happened? We have to analyze the downline cause. The underlying cause is this anger, this wretched and this akusala, unwholesome states, mental states of anger. And this anger can manifest in so many ways. It can manifest through actions. It can manifest through your speech, or when you are even in the meditation. It can manifest in your mind, That's why the anger becomes an hindrance and mental hindrance in your practice. You see, even though you are sitting with eyes closed, sitting composed, but still the thoughts of this anger goes on and on. So at this point of time, we have to actually practice metta. Now, how to remove this, how to improve or change this quality, change this angry mind into something called benevolent and loving mind. And that's why the Buddha gave the method of forgiveness, you see. He says, metta, yes, metta, loving kindness, you have forgiveness. These two practices, if you can adopt it into your life, in your daily life, then you can really reduce the potency, the power of this anger, and you grow in love. Some people say that we don't grow in love. Why don't I grow in loving kindness? Rather, I harbor, generate anger. Whatever I see, anybody, I have thought as I don't see any positivity. I always try to find out the negative aspects. Or you hear something, you see something, you have unpleasant feelings just arise. You see. So that at that point of time, endurance is more important. And with endurance, you practice the thoughts of love, thoughts of universal love, right? The thoughts that may I be happy, may I be well, may such and such person be well and happy. When you have this kind of mentality, this kind of positive outlook, a positive response, then you can really you can change this anger and replace it with love. This is as simple as that. But the real thing is that you have to act upon, you have to develop this endurance within, and you have to apply this loving kindness, right there. Because the place where this anger arises, that is the place where anger also ceases. People say, why does this suffering arises and where does it cease? Then he says that our great masters, all those great teachers, they say, where the suffering arises, there the suffering ceases. It's just like where you have this, the muddy earth, you have a beautiful lotus just coming out of this mud. So no mud, no lotus, That means good things can come from all these, unwanted things. When you have from a dirty pond or dirty garbages, there's possibility of a lotus, So if you contemplate in these practical ways, that when you have this thought of anger, then you should have that forgiveness and application of loving kindness. So how do you practice this loving kindness then? Loving kindness can be practiced, this metta, through your speech, through your body, through your mind. What is that? What is the message there? Okay, we will take off this one. Yes. So we have certain precepts, certain silas, and they are called that Sangha Havatu. They are these qualities of harmony. As I'm talking about harmony also in this topic, few of the things we can touch upon about harmony, about forgiveness. And then there's a possibility of peace. When there is conflict, when there is non-harmony, then they forget about peace. To have harmony, you should have a mind of love and compassion, mind of metta. You radiate the thoughts of metta, and with the thought you act and you speak. Your speech should be pleasant as well. Your speech should be should have that metta. And your action, sometimes your action should be concerned about others. When you are working in the families, you see, there should be perfect coordination between the family members. Now, some people say, "Oh, metta, I cannot practice." Actually, you have to practice at home. Loving kindness. Let us say a simple way of loving kindness is sharing, for example, respecting each others, loving each other. You have certain things and you share among each other, and you rejoice in that. When you are speaking, you speak kindly and gently with mind of, thinking that I should not harm to the other person or to myself. Neither I nor the other party should be suffered. So when you have this kind of things, then your speak become pleasant. Because every day you speak, every day you also act. Then how do you act? Buddha says that you should be, humble in your dealings. You shouldn't be so arrogant, because arrogance leads to anger and unpleasant things. And you shouldn't be, be burden to others. All the time in the society, we actually push, we just try to get the things done by somebody else. We don't want to do by ourselves. Maybe a minimum, a very basic chores. Let's say you're cleaning your clothes. If you are able, then you can do that. A simple thing, maybe. Then you are not burdened to others. Then you are contented whatever you have. Contentment is another great qualities which can support metta. So there are a few certain qualities which you can imbibe in your daily life. This can greatly impact your mind. This can greatly impact your mind. So metta as a virtuous practice, metta through your conduct, and metta through your speech. And then the main practice is the development of this cultivation of loving kindness very systematically through your everyday practice. If you really have Maitri, we call it Maitri Metta Farana. Metta Farana means radiation of Metta. From studying for oneself, you spread it individually, in the families, in the place where you live, just by comparing yourself. Just like I want to be happy and well, may my parents, my teachers, my family members be well and happy, not out of selfishness, but really you genuinely, you truly seek their happiness. The intention there is matters. The intention is karma there. So when you have a pure thoughts of goodwill, and you don't expect anything, selfless love towards them, then your action and your speech will support. Then naturally you will have positive response in everywhere. Wherever you go, you take it positively. And this metta is something which gives rise to forgiveness. You don't harbor anything in the mind, you rather forgive. You become forgiving. Whatever things you committed through body, action, and speech, may I be forgiven. Then you ask pardon and forgiveness, and you admit your fault. And then move on. So to removing our cause, errors, maybe through bodily actions. So if you accept your faults, your mistakes, then you can remove that at point of time. And that weakness becomes your strength also. And this will really makes your mind even more broader. You'll have all these wonderful qualities. They will start to take place. All this loving kindness, positive attitude, positive response, this harmony will take place, will happen. Likewise, in your daily duties, what you're doing, if you are really helping each other, if you are cordial, you know, you do things very systematically, and you really do as a team, then you'll have naturally, it leads to harmony. It leads to harmony. You can see the harmony in the Sangha as well. Here in monastery Sangha, one of the wonderful qualities is the harmony. You can see the samaggi, the unity. But we are lacking these days. That is why we are far away from peace. That is why we have all the time agitation, we have frustration, we have conflicts, inner conflicts and outer conflicts, non-tolerance, there is no tolerance among each other, and so on. So we have to think this way, that anger is there in the mind, no doubt, and we have to really work to remove that anger. Not all the time you debate that I am all right, you are not all right. Most of the times we have this attitude that what I say or I do, that's right. I am okay. Not you are not okay. The Buddha said there are 4 kinds of individuals in this world you can find. One is the first categories. They always think they are always correct, and not the rest of the people are not correct. And the second category is something which is just other way around. That he says, okay, I may not be right, but you are right. They always, surrender to others. You see, they're sort of kind of a followers. They're not leaders. They're just followers. And the third one is something, neither I'm okay, not you are okay. Neither you are right, no, I'm right. So they are something is hanging on the air now. Neither this side, nor that side. So the best way is to handle this is, okay, let me be happy, and may you be also happy, right? So from the both sides, when you have this attitude that I am also all right, and you're also be all right, that is to say, you don't have any complaint. It's very simple, that you don't have nothing to complain about, and your grudge, and there's nothing to grudge, that you don't hate anybody. You see good in everywhere. You see good in everywhere. So that kind of positive response really is necessity nowadays, because we see in the society so much of fault findings. Everybody is trying to prove themselves they are the best ones, rest of them are not good. In the workplace or the families, we try to subdue and dominate others. We don't see the goodness in others. We always say, I am all right, you are not. You see, some people are become so inferior, and they go nowhere. They just hang in the air, as I said. So there's some people are very pessimistic about life. That nothing is okay for them. Wherever they go, if in the best of blessed place, best of blessed facilities, the best of blessed families, and all those, still they don't find peace there. If they go to this most peaceful forest, or anywhere you take, for instance, they still not be satisfied. Okay. So we should have this optimistic response, positive response of may I be happy, may all beings be happy, may I be good, may that person so and so be good. And you see, you carry that good attitude, good response to everywhere, and you promote your own well-being and well-being of others. So that is called metta. When you promote that, then you have real true metta in your heart. So to wind off now, already has spoken about 40 minutes already. So to summarize this entire discussions what we're having now, and we have group of people about um, okay, now we understood that how our response should be in everywhere. Because as I said, anger can arise at any point of time. You see, likewise, greed or even ignorance or delusion. But our subject discussion is just this one: how this feeling of anger takes place. Through our displeasing feelings, through the situations, to our moods and emotions that just bust up like that. So the practical way to tackle this is to have metta through your body, speech, and mind. And then to have this attitude of positive response, optimistic attitude of seeing good in everywhere, promoting well-being. Now we say, may we be well and happy, but are we really promoting that happiness and well-being? In what way we are promoting? We should promote through body, through our actions, through our speech, through our mind. Simply by just wishing merely that won't happen. We all want happiness, but nobody really act to achieve that happiness. Wishing is another thing, you see, but our action becomes different ones. Like the story of that lady, as I said, she was calm and quiet, but the action was different. She just become so hot-tempered and harmed that poor servant. This situation is a common situation, an ordinary situation. We can take the example. Even in the society now, we become so intolerant and impatient that, we can forbear this simply act. But because of that, we ruin our reputation. We ruin everything. Like that lady, she ruined her good reputation. But now, we forgot our reputation. Now, we become miserable. We lose our mental peace of mind. Sometimes the family also becomes so disturbed because of this. There is no family well-being. There is no family harmony in the society. Also, there is no harmony in the country, for example. How many of us live harmoniously, even in the society, in the village? We don't know what is happening in the next door. What are other person doing? We don't know. We become so self-centered and busy, and we're lacking in this love, this attitude of metta. So when you have this sharing attitude of forgiveness, attitude of positive response, with this powerful tool of metta, that is the way to face, that is the way to transform your mind. Now, the Buddha's teaching is all about transforming the mind. It's all about transformation of mind, elevation of mind, from an ignorant mind to an enlightened mind, from a hateful and vengeance and angry mind to a loving mind. That's what we need. Everything is all about mind. From a greedy and attached mind to a non-attached, non-covetous mind. So today I will leave at this point. This discussion is all about overcoming or facing this anger. through a positive response and developing to quality of forgiveness, harmony, and peace within. Now, these are all the essential factors to just like you are going to a battlefield, you are going to a championship, maybe a sports championship, and you're an athlete. So you have to really work hard and you have to train yourself with all the skills, you know. You have to be very strong to face your opponents, otherwise, you cannot win that. Likewise, when you have these qualities, then your mind becomes very strong, and that mind will not allow any anger to come in. But you still survive. You can do your things perfectly all right. Some people say, I cannot live without anger. I have to show anger. But that becomes a kind of, you can live without anger. There is a possibility that you can live without any anger in the mind. Provided you have to be disciplined, you have to follow these wonderful teachings, wonderful, skillful methods to see the change what you're looking for. Okay, so may you all be blessed by the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. May you all grow in good health, happiness, peace of mind, and strength. May everybody of you who are listened today, I hope that you understood the negative aspects of this anger and positive aspects. How do you see and face this and apply, put into practice in your daily life, so that you can see the realistic change in your life. So may you all grow in Dhamma, may you all grow in blessings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata. Sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata. Sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata. Sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Now we have question answer session. Time for question answer session. Anyone have any questions to ask? Please do ask me. Okay. Yes, our Upasakaji, Professor JV, Dr. Upasaka JV is a scientist and engineer. He also studied diploma in Buddhist studies from Mahabodhi Research Center. So please go on. Namo Buddhaya. Please ask your question.
Namo Buddhaya. Bhante, my question is very simple. As a scientist engineer, as you rightly said, my 30 years of experience, 30 plus years of experience as a scientist engineer, I find very much angered, because I do something which is, I believe, which is correct. For example, I segregate waste. I carry my own plate. You know, I carry own cup, carry own spoon, carry own bag, because it is linked to climate change. Today, 100 million people are affected by 2030 because of climate change. Karnataka alone has got about 30,000 crores loss because of drought. Now, my question is this: why is that with so much of learning in the world, in the nation, in the state, and in the city, and in the neighborhood? Why? Why it is not possible to understand this simple linkage, that simple living is the best form of yoga and the best form of saving the people from, there is no, for no fault they are suffering. The poor people are suffering because of climate change, not because of their mistake, not because of their fault. It's for the rich and the well-to-do and well-learned people. I get angered on this. Please comment, but what is the way out?
Okay, very good questions from Professor JV. You raised rightly this question, and it is a question. It's an international concern now. You see, we have violence and a lot of sufferings is happening all around. Take the instance of this presently the war which is going on, the global crisis. I would, in a simple sense, I would say that yes, there is suffering. Therefore, we need Dhamma. We need Dhamma to remove the suffering. Yes, we have this suffering. We can witness this, and this all started from anger, from hatred, or not, not harmony between two countries. There is constant anger between two countries, like Israeli, Gaza, and Palestine, what is happening. But we may take instance in India also, or anywhere. It may happen at any point of any place in the world. So we, as you say, that we don't understand this this anger. How does it function and how it manifests, how it really creates so much of destructions, and violence in the world. Therefore, we need to spread metta more rather than anger. If you spread, let's say, what you seek, that you get it. What you are searching for, you'll get it. If you are searching for peace, then you get the peace. You are searching for violence and anger, then you'll get that only. You will get violence, you'll get anger, and you constantly live in fear. Like nowadays, we hear in the news that how those people are really living in so much of fear in their heart. They don't have a place to live. They don't have a place to, like in hospitals are a place where they're bombarded by these people. In Gaza, for example, thousands of people. This becomes a place of violence. So now, even in the United Nations Charter, it says that the war starts in the human mind. Maybe you know it, this, Vasakaji. This charter, which is cited like that, the war starts in the human mind. So also the construction of peace, one can find that peace is also exists in the mind, and we should actually resort the peace, search for peace also in the human mind. So this is very simple, a simple thing, but human mind, it becomes so complicated, and we don't understand this philosophy, this law of life, this love of life. If we really practice this way, entire humanity will be very peaceful. Let's say this entire world is just like a family, because somewhere or other we are connected. For example, if you go back India, for example, hundreds of years ago, maybe very few people were there. still you go further, there may be one clan will be there, a few clans. Like in Buddha's time, we have about 16 kind of kingdoms. Less population were there, and this the same population, they just become more and more and become like one country. But if you really go backwards, you will see somewhere humanity, we are actually connected to each other. You come from a one family or one clan or one particular thing, and it just grows and grows and become a global family. So like that, if you have that kind of feelings, I will surely helps at least to reduce this influence of anger in human mind. So practice metta, at least all of you who are here and those who knows Dhamma, you have a bigger responsibility. You will practice Dhamma and become and spread this metta and try to do something for peace and harmony in your areas. That we can do, we can take that peace initiative in our own level, whatever possible way we can take.
Absolutely. Many thanks, Bhante. Many thanks.
Yes, sukhi rahe, may be happy. Sadhu, sadhu. Anybody, any other questions we have? Okay, I don't think we have any more questions because we have about 16 people are there. Any questions, Suminda ji, from our in chat box? No.
Bhante, no questions in the chat box, Bhante.
Okay, so then we will proceed to the last part of sharing merits and blessings. So now at the end of the session, we would like to share these merits and blessings with everybody. Whatever merits you have gained through today's Dhamma session, by sharing and listening to the Dhamma, by contemplating on the Dhamma. Actually, I have quoted 3 important suttas which is related to this subject. And these are all these noble teachings of Lord Buddha to just for the purpose of removing the sufferings, putting an end to all sufferings and suffering of any kinds. Not only through anger, we have suffering from many different ways, you see. Many different ways suffering can come. So therefore, Buddha's teachings is suggestion of suffering, in totality, in completion. So may we all grow in Dhamma, practice Dhamma together until we reach our goal. May we walk together until we reach to the final goal of complete cessation of suffering, or realization of the noble truths in our life. So with that, we will now bless you. Metta पहले मेता सेंटिंग करके अहं सुखी तो हमें आता है, ये दुखो हमें नहीं आता है, सुखी भावे में आता है, सुखी भावे.
Vanda mein, Bhante, there's a question, Bhante.
Okay. Yes, who is that? Please tell me the question. Okay, please go ahead.
Bhanteji, मैं एक स्कूल टीचर हूँ और जब मैं पढ़ाती हूँ और सुबह से लेके दोपहर हो जाती है और बच्चों के साथ बहुत मित्रता होने के बावजूद भी कई बार ऐसा होता है कि बच्चे इतना से कई बार हल्ला करते हैं, तंग करते हैं और मैं अपना पूरा धैर्य खोने लगती हूँ। तो उस समय मैं कहाँ से वो एनर्जी लाऊं, क्या करूं कि मैं बहुत शांति से उनको और मित्रता दे सकूं और मैं अपना काम कर सकूं। कई बार ये प्रश्न आता है मेरा। तो कभी कभी मैं रिएक्ट करती हूँ क्योंकि वो मुझे इतने सारे उनके एक्शंस आते हैं तो कई बार मैं रिएक्ट कर देती हूँ और बाद में अफसोस भी होता है, लेकिन उस समय मैं परेशान रहती हूँ इसलिए रिएक्ट करती हूँ। तो उससे कैसे बच सकती हूँ मैं?
आपको हिंदी समझते हैं ना, इंग्लिश?
मैं हिंदी समझती हूँ, इंग्लिश भी समझ सकती हूँ, पर बोलने में मुझे हिंदी आसान लगता है।
All right. So now there are two ways to face the situation. Either you start your session, your classes with the thought of metta,
जी
आपको पहले you have to think about the cause first. First, removing the cause as the first part,
जी
so that your day you can spend with metta.
जी
The second point is that after having like getting the result of by reacting, then you have to contemplate on yourself. You have to find out the better ways to do it. Maybe you
जी
can have to engage the students with some kind of a group activity where they can become so polite and so engaging each other, sharing each other, and you can ask them how do they feel when they share each other. For example,
जी
you can just ask or give them something to one person and tell him to share with others, and he share, or you take them to somewhere and let them share with everybody. That
जी
feeling of sharing something which really touches the heart. That way you can mold, you can see the state of the mind of the students and how really they feel. And at times you also make them to understand that the teacher's method towards the children, you realize that the teachers have metta for them. For example, what the teacher is teaching them, it is for their good,
जी
to make them good. आप जो सिखाती है उनको अच्छा करने के लिए सिखाते हैं, वो
जी
चीजों के अंदर में जाना चाहिए. तो पहले तो उनको, बच्चा है, प्राइमरी स्कूल्स है ना आपका, स्कूल्स ना सेकेंडरी?
नहीं, हाई स्कूल में, सेकेंडरी स्कूल.
Secondary school, so they're quite, secondary means up to maybe already 13 14 like that, no? 12
हाँ,
13
14 15 18 16 17 जी
19, so they're already in the teenage now. So I think that is the best time to let them understand the value of metta, not only just by sitting or just by in the mental level, but you have to actually tell them that how it works, through their activities, to their action, to their speech, to their behavior. You should come to their behavior. Then only you can say a change. Okay, because now what happens, you have metta for them, but they are not practicing metta towards you, therefore you becomes impatient. So
जी जी
somewhere the metta should be reciprocating. You say, but your metta should be very strong, then the other person in transform, they can follow you. But many times we don't have that kind of metta which can really change others. So as I said, you can have to slowly mold them to the activities or teach them a little bit of anapana, because they're very restless. You can teach them small little bit meditation on anapana breathing,
जी
meditate, and they start the class. At least in your class, you can introduce that slowly. Then you'll see the positive change. Okay.
ओके.
I hope that makes sense.
थैंक यू भंते जी, नमामि भंते जी.
Yeah. Shukr hai. So this can be, as I said, this is not a issues with this particular instance. Rather, it is everywhere now. In every schools, we should have to think about it. How do we, you know, deal with the students with loving kindness, with patience, and to without that, really, it will be frustrating. And most of the time, teaching job becomes very challenging also. To handling so many students, after them all the time. So these qualities we should actually inculcate and in our daily life. Okay, one more person who raised the hand.
My name is Anusha, sir.
Please come again. What is your name?
My name is Anusha, sir.
Where are you
And
from?
I'm from Tamil Nadu in Kadal. It is a Kadalur district. And my question is, recently I faced one problem. I didn't get angry, but I handled the situation. I skip it. But next day I met the person. I can't talk. I can't talk to him. He's a neighbor in my institution place. So he is spreading the wrong information to others. So how can I, if he is if he is my family or friend or colleague, I handle them, or I would like to change his mind, but he's running in other business, but he get jealous or anything else in my place. So he spread very wrong information, and his behavior also in toxic. So how can I handle this situation, sir?
So, like as I said, peace in the heart. Wherever you go, you find peace.
Yeah.
Now in these situations, you have to find out some skillful means with yourself, the situation there, because you cannot wholesale change that person just like that. So, do you practice some meditation at your home?
Yes, sir. I practice meditation.
What kind of meditation?
I did breathing meditation. Every day I'm doing breathing meditation.
Anapanasati, like that?
Yes, sir.
Acha. So, it would take some time for you to see the result, but you have to really, as I said, practice patience, practice endurance. Don't react to that person.
No, I didn't react, or I didn't get angry too. But next day I skip them. I avoid to talk, smile, or any smile, and I go and engage to my work. But he never stop his work like toxic, or he just doing something else. I don't know what he's thinking about me and the institution. This is a startup company. This is an educational institution, and he is running the hotel in my location. Recently his behavior is very toxic, and directly his voice is suddenly his voice is rise, and um, he's elder to me.
Okay, now you keep on practicing this way. Now you with a breathing meditation, you do practice now metta.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Loving kindness towards that person.
Okay.
Before you every day you practice that metta, then see what happening, and whatever that man he thinks about you or trying to harm or be jealous, but you give your you believe in your positive powers of thoughts, your mental thoughts. So you
Okay.
generate that metta and start your work every day. And don't think about the negative things or anything at all. You focus
Okay.
on your work,
Mm.
and while you're working, also have metta. When you're thinking in meditation, also have metta, and have patience. And I think you'll see definitely some changes.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. The session is very useful, and I affect 2 days before I face this problem. So I get scared too. No one can talk to me very rudely or very toxic persons. But this is the first time I face that person. So
Mm.
the session is very positive approaches, and my mind is clear now. A
Sadhu,
little.
sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I think our effort is rewarded. At least you
Yes.
understood. Yeah, you feel good.
Yes.
Sadhu,
And
sadhu.
one more thing, sir. I'm also teacher. I'm working. I worked 14 years students. I
Okay.
teach 14 years students. So
You teach
um,
with students?
ninth
Special.
and 10th standard
Okay.
students.
Okay.
So some students are very hyper. No one can handle them. So in that case, I enter the classroom. I just 10 minutes. I took them to breathing exercise. I give the punishment like the punishment. I give them breathing exercise. Breathing exercise. 1 month. I get the result to the students.
Hmm.
Even the students are very poor in their education, but they also get more marks and concentrate at their education, and it's a good result, sir.
Very good. You are sharing the knowledge with them. That's nice. Additionally, you are giving them this
Yes,
meditation, not a
yes.
punishment, but they will know later on the value and effect of this.
Yes,
But I would suggest sometimes you can bring them to Bangalore. We have a center here, meditation center, where
sure.
we give them counseling, and summer vacations we have the children camp,
Okay, sure,
Dhamma
sir.
camp, children camp. So in April and May, it happens in April and May. So you can think about to bring them so that you'll
Okay,
see them. You know.
sure, sir. Thank you
Nice,
so
nice,
much.
nice. So we will conclude here today, and I wish that you share it with your friends. And this session is happening every fortnightly. You know, you can share. People should join and take benefits from this. Dhamma. Like you all feel good. We have many other teachers, many other good masters, meditation masters. They come here and they give very wonderful teachings. So you are welcome to join our session. Sabityo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatu antarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Abhivadanasilissa nityang vadhapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang valanti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Namo Buddhaya and lot of metta to everybody. We conclude today's session here. Thank you, everybody.